Okay, here we go, everybody. Alabama. Welcome, all Alabama fans. Thank you for tuning in. Michigan fans, thank you for watching because they may be a threat. We shall see. We're going to do the deep dive. The legendary coach, Nick Saban, retired, though, leaving Kalen Deboer as head coach. He started at Sioux Falls, South Dakota, coaching. He graduated there and became offensive coordinator there from 2000 to 2004. He was also assistant baseball coach at Sioux Falls. Deboer was then head coach at Sioux Falls from 2005 to 2009, going 67-3 in the NAIA division, and won 3 national championships at that level. Then he left Sioux Falls to become offensive coordinator at Southern Illinois, where he, from 2010 to 2013, he did okay there because he moved to D1 after that at Eastern Michigan, and he was the offensive coordinator there from 2014 to 2016. Kalen was also offensive coordinator at Fresno State and Indiana before being named head coach at Fresno State, so he was back there. In 2020, the COVID year, he went 3-3. But in the 21 season, he was 9-3 as offensive coordinator, or head coach, excuse me. So, then Washington happened for Kalen Deboer, where he went 11-2 in his first year before he was 14-1, losing to yours truly, Michigan. You guys remember all that. You did too, so sorry. Anyway, it's late. It's Friday. I'm happy. Michigan just shored up their defense. Sorry, Alabama. I'm going to go through all of your stuff, your proven players and everything, and it just doesn't match up versus all of these other national title contenders this season. But Kalen Deboer is not the issue. He will get it straightened out, I think. But he was national runner-up last season to Michigan, as I said. He got all of the coach of the year accolades, basically, and he entered into Alabama after Nick Saban retired, and a lot of your players transferred out. That's understandable. They were hoping to play for the greatest coach of all time, and now he is gone. But what can you do to replenish? Enter Nick Sheridan as offensive coordinator. We're going to talk coaches, we're going to talk quarterback players, and then the schedule, and I'll give you a floor and a ceiling, as I do for every national title contender. Is Alabama? Let me know in the comments below who is a title contender this upcoming season. I have a poll going on right now, and last I saw, Utah was beating Penn State for the next up. I've done all sorts of videos of these. Go watch them. Nick Sheridan is a Michigan graduate. He started 4 games at Michigan, got his degree in political science. In 2010, he was quarterback coach for Saline High School, his alma mater in the state of Michigan. Then Nick was a GA at Western Kentucky before being quarterback coach there too. In 2013, USF, Southern Florida, hired him as PGC. Damn it. Should have been on top of this. And quarterback coach. No. Anyway. PGC. You guys know what it is. You'll tell me. He was GA for a second time after that at Tennessee from 2014 to 2016 before he went to Indiana to be quarterback coach again, but was tight end coach there after that. So is that a demotion in 2019 for him? But then he was promoted the year after that to offensive coordinator and quarterback coach again there for Tennessee. Then Kalen Deboer hired Sheridan as tight end coach at Washington in 2022, and he followed Kalen Deboer to Alabama. Let's talk defensive coordinator, shall we? Kane Womack is the guy. He started coaching quarterbacks at UT Martin in 2010. He was a graduate assistant at Jacksonville State, where he coached the defensive line. He spent 2 years as a GA at Mississippi under his dad, who was the defensive coordinator there at the time. It's funny, all these assistant coaches and head coaches spent time being graduate assistants, getting their degree and getting experience at the same time coaching. So that has something to do with, I think, all these national title contenders. Their coaches came from experience, and they got their degree. Anyway, that's just a side note. USA came calling Southern Alabama back in 2021, giving him his first head coach position, where he went 22-16 there, did Kane Womack. Alabama and Deboer hired him in 2024 to be the defensive coordinator. Okay, let's start getting into the fun part here. Quarterback. We're talking offense now. Jalen Milroe is going to be a redshirt junior this upcoming season. Last year, he had 187 completions on 284 attempts, 66% damn near. 2,834 yards, that's a 10-yard average per completion. 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Now, on the ground, he had 161 rushing yards for 531 attempts for yards. 3.3 averages all, but he had 12 rushing touchdowns, so that hampered, they give the beast the ball at the goal line, and he will get in for you, and that's what got you all the way to the Rose Bowl last season. Ty Simpson and a couple other freshmen are involved. Ty Simpson actually has some stats, though. 11 completions, 20 passes, 55%, 179 yards last season, 8.9 average. So there is your quarterback position that has production. No freshmen, no anything are going to be involved in this video, even though you do have top 1 or 2 or 3 classes perennially every season, mostly number 1. You're going to need those guys to step up, because you lost to Michigan, who was full of seniors. And when Michigan basketball lost to Duke basketball, Mike Krzyzewski, the Fab Five, remember that? The Fab Five, full of freshmen. They lost. And Duke said, no freshman will ever beat a team full of seniors. And I believe that to be the case in every sport. So you're going to need your young guys to step up. But you do have production back, and we're going through it right here. At running back, Jam Miller is a junior. 41 carries for 201 yards, 4.9 average. He had 1 touchdown. He had 4 receptions for 73 yards and a receiving touchdown as well. Justice Haynes is back, a sophomore. Had 25 carries for 168 yards, 6.7 average, 2 touchdowns. Richard Young, also as a freshman last season, got some time. Redshirt freshman this season, 9 carries for 24 yards, 2.7 average, 1 touchdown is all. At tight end, you got CJ Dupree back, a senior, 11 catches for 187 yards, 17 average, no touchdowns for him. Robbie Owens is a senior, 3 catches for 33 yards, 11 average, and 1 touchdown. You have a transfer in, though, from Washington, the head coach's old stomping grounds, Josh Cuevas. Had 4 catches for 164 yards last season, 41 average, 1 touchdown. He must have got hurt last season, because the year before, He had 58 catches for 678 yards, 11.7 average, and he had 6 touchdowns in 2022. So he is probably going to be your starter there at tight end through the transfer portal. At wide receiver, it's very, very slim in returning production. You got one at each position that has any kind of stats at all. Kendrick Law is a junior, 15 catches, 135 yards, 9-yard average. At the Z, you got Jeremy Bernard, a transfer in from Washington as well, who had 34 catches, 419 yards, 12.3 average, and 2 touchdowns. Not too shabby. But wide receiver H is what you have Kobe Prentice as. And he's a junior, 18 catches, 314 yards, 17.4 average, and 2 touchdowns from last season. Your offensive line is a question mark as well. A lot of people gone. Elijah Pritchett, though, is your left tackle. Redshirt sophomore. He started last season, I believe, a couple games. And Caden Proctor came in from Iowa. Transfer from there. He's a sophomore. I think he started for them last season. So, left tackle. You got depth. Maybe one of them will be right tackle. You can move people around here. We still have all summer and all fall camp to figure things out. Every team does. So, left guard. I think OurLads.com had Tyler Booker there, a junior. He started last season. He's the 1-2 starters, I think, that are returning for you. At center, Parker Brailsford is projected to be your center. Redshirt sophomore, transfer from Washington as well. Jaden Roberts at right guard, a redshirt junior, did not start, or maybe he played. Olas Lennon, redshirt freshman, is backing him up. Maybe he played. Right tackle, Wilkin Formby, a redshirt freshman. Maybe he played. So your line, really, you have a lot of youth on this team that needs to step up in a big way. Let's talk about your defense, though. Has a little bit more depth than your offense does coming back. At defensive end, you have 4 positions on your defensive line. The D end, the nose tackle, the D tackle, and the wolf position. I think Jamarian Latham is your starter, redshirt senior at DN. That's the guy, well, he may not be your starter, but he is the one that has the most production coming back at that position. 8 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 pass breakup. Backing him up is a transfer from Texas A&M, a junior, L.T. Overton, who had 17 tackles. And then behind him, Jordan Renaud had 4 tackles. That's the depth you have there. Not so great. At nose tackle, though, Tim Keenan III, a redshirt junior, had 38 tackles last season, 1 sack and 1 pass breakup. And Damian Payne Jr. Backs him up, redshirt junior, 9 tackles and 1/2 a sack last season. At D tackle, Tim Smith had 31 tackles and 2 sacks. So between the 2 Tims, you have a great interior of your defensive line, and that's where the whole defense starts. That allows your edge players to get there, that allows your linebackers to be more effective, and it allows the secondary to have less time to cover. So, good defensive interior here. Tim Smith, 31 tackles, 2 sacks. And then behind him, Jaheim Otis, a junior, 26 tackles, and he had 1/2 a sack on the interior. At the Wolf position, Quindarius Robertson returns, a redshirt senior, another upperclassman. 24 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. And then Keanu Coate had 4 tackles. All right, let's move to the linebacker position, where you go 4 deep, but only 2 are really, really, really good. The other 2 unproven, but they've had to wait their turn. At will linebacker, Jihad Campbell is a junior. He had 66 tackles last season, half a sack, 2 fumble recoveries, an interception, and 3 pass breakups. And then Justin Jefferson was a senior backing him up. I think had 4 tackles and 1 forced fumble. Middle linebacker Dante Lawson was a redshirt junior coming this season, is going to be. 67 tackles, 3 sacks, and 4 pass breakups. And then behind him, you had Jeremiah Alexander, a redshirt sophomore, who had 3 tackles. So, not the depth that, say, Michigan has by far. And I don't think your freshmen can stack up to our sophomores and juniors that have been there and been developed. I think you have a little bit of work here to do. I'm not ready to call you a national title contender, but the fans voted on the poll that I had, so here we go. In the secondary, you have Devontae Smith, projected as your star, which I think is the nickel. A redshirt junior, 4 tackles last season. You only have 1 at every position here that has any kind of depth. But you got King Mack, a redshirt freshman, a transfer from Penn State who had 3 tackles. So, and he's a safety, so he can back up. We're talking depth here, production. I know that you have other people. All right. I always say that it's been a long night, and it has been. And I just want to get through this video. But Jahil Hurley is listed as your left corner, or true freshman Xavier Brown, or true freshman Jalen Mbakwe. You have no production returning at left corner. At right corner, you have Damani Jackson, who really should have probably went to Michigan when he was coming out of high school. But he's a junior. He's a transfer from USC. 32 tackles and 3 pass breakups. And then free safety, you got Malachi Moore, a graduate who had 51 tackles, 1 interception, 4 pass breakups. Keon Sabb did come from Michigan. Redshirt sophomore, transfer. 28 tackles, 4 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and 1 for a touchdown last season for Michigan en route to a national championship. You guys needed him more than we did, so I don't fault him or you for paying him to come there, because you do need him more than we do, especially with the 3 new additions that we got just today at Michigan. All right. Let's go on to the schedule. And what is your floor and what is your ceiling?
Check your Wi-Fi net.
You have Western Kentucky, that's going to be a win. You have USF, that's going to be a win. At Wisconsin is a question mark. And then Georgia is a question mark after your first bye. You have at Vanderbilt, that's going to be a win. South Carolina is going to be a win. At Tennessee's question mark for me. At Missouri at home is a question mark for me. They beat Ohio State last year. They have people coming back. At LSU is a question mark as well. And then Mercer at home is going to be a win. And then at Oklahoma is a question mark. Auburn at home is a question mark. Alabama has to go places they never have. At Wisconsin, have they ever traveled to Norman? I don't know. Alabama still has talent. But depth and physicality that they had in the past is just not there anymore. Recruiting ranking always is good for Alabama, like I said. Number 2 this season, they'll be freshmen. Number 1 last season, they'll be sophomores. So I kept saying during the video, you need those guys to step up. Not to mention Saban is gone, though, which led to an exodus. So you are hoping that Deboer can build this thing back up in year 1, which is another question mark for me. He's great. He did it at Washington. If they beat Wisconsin at home or at Wisconsin, and then Georgia early in the season, watch out. Then watch out. But I think the floor is 7-5 for this team. really. The ceiling, though, is 11-1. If you get rolling, you beat Wisconsin and Georgia, and then you win at Tennessee, which is very easy to do, and then at LSU, at Oklahoma, Auburn, to end the season, the rival. The only reason I had Auburn as question mark here is because they're a rival. And it's the end of the season, and who knows what your schedule's going to look like. It's going to be, or how you're going to do versus schedule. It's going to be tough. It's a tough schedule. So, and you're trying to replace everything. Michigan is too. Hey, you can come back to me and say, listen, Michigan's replacing their great coach and their great quarterback. We have a quarterback back. Yes, you do. You have Jalen Milroe back, who made it to the playoff last season. Maybe he can carry it. That's the thing. I don't know what to say about Alabama until prediction video comes out. So, and I'm working right now on the Big Ten prediction video. Next up on this series is Utah. I think it was the last that was leading in the poll, and Penn State was second. So they're going to happen. And USC, man, now that I've started into the predictions, I got to dive into USC. So let me know who else. Them have to be coming to an end because it is getting closer to the season. It's prediction time. So here we go. And thank you, everyone, for watching this long. Remember to like if you have watched this long. It means you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. And thank you to all of you who have subscribed to this channel. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. And have a great day, everybody. That includes you, Alabama fans. Don't take what I had to say take it all with a grain of salt, right? That's what they say. So, I'm rooting for you. Well, not really, but you got to replace the great. We'll see if you can. So have a great night, everybody.